Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Testing, testing. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, we're already on live feed.
Okay.
Good morning, Chad. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
Nice
morning.
to see you with us today. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes.
Great.
Ron,
Yes.
I have Chad Cox here today from Northwest Senior Disability Services. He will be speaking under public comment.
Okay.
Good morning. Hello, hello. Hey, Chad.
Hi, Robert. How are you?
Very good.
Hey, David.
Hi, Chad. Good to see you.
Good to
Good
see you
morning,
too.
Robert. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're a little.
Ron, is there any way to turn your volume up just a tiny bit more?
Uh, turn the volume up. Well, I can turn what I hear up, but make myself.
We're just a hair. I have mine all the way up on my volume.
Ron,
Can
Ron,
you?
my
Yes.
volume is at the bottom right-hand side of my screen, and that's where I'm able to turn my volume up. Kind of right by the time and the date to the left of that. That's where mine is anyway.
Well, maybe Ron, go ahead and do a test for me. Test
That's
me.
for the speakers.
Can everybody hear Ron okay?
I can hear
1, 2, 3,
Ron.
4, 5.
Okay. All right. Well, Ron, we'll just go for it.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to turn that up with the camera control, I think. Okay. We still are short for quorum, so we'll just shuffle around a little bit.
Well, I'm not sure if we are. Let me see.
Uh,
So Robert is a member of the advisory commission. So is Ron, David, John, Karen Bolliger, and
I am here. Can you
and
hear me?
Bonnie McGregor.
I can't get my video. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm here. I just won't, you won't. Okay, start my video. Okay. And then it says enabled camera, use your browser's address bar.
Mm, I don't-
So I'm not gonna, I'm here. Thank
Okay,
you.
sounds good.
Marilyn? I think
Yes.
A quorum would be 8.
And what are we sitting at right now?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
We only have 6 right now.
We've got 13 members. We need 7.
But the bylaws just
3,
says
4, 5, 6. Bonnie, Robert, Carolyn. Yeah. We need one more by my count.
Okay, let's see who we're letting in. Good morning. Who do we have with us today?
I've been messing with it, so maybe it's me.
Well, this is Ellie M.
No. No.
Sorry.
Is this Margaret? There you go. Yes, Margaret is with us, so we make a quorum.
Yes, okay. All right, good morning, all. Welcome to the October 3rd, 2023 meeting for the Senate 50 Plus Advisory Commission. We'll start with a roll call. Suzanne, if you can assist on that, please.
Sure we will. So the first three are excused on this list: Alan Scott, Elise Lipnix, and Annie Batey. Next is Bonnie McGregor,
Yes.
David Haber,
Yes.
John Hughes,
Yes.
Karen Bolliger,
Here,
Linda Schellenberg, Margaret Manukian,
Linda
Here.
Schellenberg is excused, please.
Robert Rooney,
Yes.
Ron Rubel,
Here,
and Scott Harper is out today, Marilyn. Scott Harper.
okay. We do have a quorum present, so we will proceed at this point. Okay. We have some folks here that haven't joined us before. If you'd like to introduce yourselves to everybody, can we start with Chad Cox?
Yes, good morning, everybody. My name is Chad Cox. I'm the coordinator for the Hope Senior Peer Mentor Program at Northwest Senior People with Disabilities. And Marilyn had asked me to come and talk to this group today about my program.
Great. All right. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. And all right.
And we also have Robert Rooney here.
Robert.
Robert, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. So I actually work with Chad through Northwest and community programs, and I'm the new supervisor for the Aging and Disability Resource Connection. I relieved Julie Ludke, if you guys remember her. I've been working at Northwest for coming up on 8 years, and I spent most of the time doing case management. So that's where most of my experience comes from. But yeah, this is my first meeting, and yeah, kind of excited just to see how things go and see what we're doing here as the group.
Okay, thank you and welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Commission members should have received by email copies of the meeting for June. It's been a while since we met. Are there any additions or corrections to that set of minutes for June? Hearing none, Chair will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as sent.
I move we accept the minutes as sent.
Okay. And do we have a second, please?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor, raise your hands.
Here.
Okay. Any opposition or abstention? Unanimously accepted. Okay. We'll proceed next with public comment. And Marilyn, I didn't quite get who you said that was going to be.
Well, we have Chad Cox here today from Northwest Senior and Disability Services. And we, if you might recall, during our retreat in August, we talked about the different programs in our community that are addressing loneliness and isolation. And we've asked Chad to come and join us today and share about his program and the benefits and the outcome goals and all of that. And we're just really excited that Chad is with us. Northwest Senior and Disability Services is a longtime partner of Center 50 Plus. We do have a contractual agreement for a variety of programs that we provide here, but we also partner with Northwest to bring services into our building, such as the Sheba program and and then also taking advantage of their amazing health and wellness programming that they offer as well. And then we had a partnership where we did the in-home physical therapy program, and we were able to provide personal trainers to that program for many years. So Northwest is a longtime partner, and we work collaboratively, and we're excited to hear additional services. And Chad is a wealth of knowledge and has an amazing reputation in our community on the work he's doing. So thanks for being with us, Chad.
Oh, thank you, Marilyn. Thank you for those kind words.
Okay.
Do you want to share your screen, or would you like to, I'm going to let you go ahead and share your program.
All right, great. Well, I don't have any slides today, so it'll be just me talking about my program.
With a beautiful bridge in the back, so that's okay.
It is a nice background. Yeah, it's very calming. So my name is Chad Cox. I'm the coordinator of the Hope Senior Peer Mentor Program. The Hope Senior Peer Mentor Program helps people 50 and older in our communities that are struggling with mild to moderate depression and or anxiety. And our program utilizes a workbook model. So participants can utilize 21 different workbooks, both related to depression and anxiety while they're in our program. The workbooks are based off what's called cognitive behavioral therapy. It's just a common way to address issues such as depression or anxiety. The workbooks get the person to take a look at things like their routines and their actions and their thinking that may be contributing to depression and anxiety, and starting to make some positive changes around those things. In addition to the workbooks, we assign the individual a volunteer. The volunteer is called their mentor. The mentors are 45 and older, so they're a peer group. The volunteers meet with the individual either by telephone or in person once a week for up to an hour. And during their time together, they are checking in to see how the person is doing with the workbook materials, perhaps helping them select workbook titles that apply to their situation, answer any questions that have come up. But a large part of what they do is providing support and encouragement for the individual while they're in the program, because it's a big hurdle to address things like depression or anxiety, and people need encouragement and letting them know that they're doing a great job. So David Haber is one of our volunteers from the past, but I have currently 16 volunteers with my program. They're all wonderful individuals, probably the best human beings that I've ever met. And they just generally have a need, a desire to be of use and be helpful to people that are struggling with some mental health issues in our community. So a few facts about the program. The program is free. So there is no financial qualifications for the program or other eligibility requirements other than scoring within mild to moderate range for depression or anxiety. Another nice feature about the program is whatever workbook that the person chooses to work on while they're in our program, they get to keep that. So it's kind of a nice reference if situations around depression or anxiety pop back up again. The person has those as a reference point to be able to refer back to. Referrals for my program come from a variety of different sources. So we get referrals from community partners. We get referrals from healthcare agencies like home health or hospitals, for instance. Lately, a great deal of our referrals have been coming internally within our own agency, Northwest Senior and People with Disabilities. And I think that is a direct result of us now actually asking screening questions around depression or anxiety when our case managers go out and do assessments with consumers in the community. So they're helping people identify if they're struggling with depression or anxiety. And the Senior Peer Mentor Program is one resource for them if they would like, a referral to address those issues. People often ask, is there a time frame around participation in the program? And the answer is no. It really depends on the amount of workbooks that the person chooses to work on while they're in the program and how long it takes for the individual to, go through and complete the workbooks themselves. But I would say on average, a person's in our program for around 2 to 3 months period of time. I do a screening when I receive a referral to ensure that the person is in the category of depression or anxiety that we can see. So in that mild to moderate range, I use a couple of clinical tools. One is the PHQ-9 for depression. The other is the GAD-7 for anxiety. And those are just questionnaires centered around, questions related to both depression or anxiety. And it lets me know kind of where their depression or anxiety may lie in severity. So how do we know that the program is actually working for folks? So at the end of their participation with the program, I asked the volunteers to do the PHQ-9 and the GAD-7 again with the individual. So we have their score both at the beginning of the program when I screen them and at the end of the program when they're finished, hopefully accomplishing their goals around depression or anxiety. And we have seen a drop typically in people's scores around depression or anxiety, showing that there's been some improvement around those two conditions in their lives. So, and just anecdotally, we hear from our participants that they greatly appreciate the program and feel like it makes a difference in their lives in terms of helping them with their depression or anxiety. So that's pretty much a summary of the program in a nutshell. Although our program doesn't specifically address loneliness, many people experience depression or anxiety as a result of loneliness. And so it's great that we have this program available for them in our communities. At that point, I'll go ahead and stop and see if anybody has any questions about the Senior Peer Mentor Program.
Chad, this is Bonnie McGregor, and I'd like to know, how long has this kind of program been in effect? How long have we been using it? And where did it generate? How did it generate?
Sure. So in its current form, the Senior Peer Mentor Program has been with Northwest for about 8 years' time. Prior to the Senior Peer Mentor Program, the program was called the Senior Peer Counseling Program. So many of you were probably familiar with that program. That was ran by Jeff Lukart, the previous coordinator. And Jeff realized that the Senior Peer Counseling Program would not be able to continue some of its federal funding because it had never been considered an evidence-based program, so shown to be effective through research. And so he went and started looking for a program to address the two most common behavioral health conditions that older adults face, which is depression and anxiety, and found these workbooks that were developed by a psychiatrist out of the UK. His model of workbooks are widely utilized in the UK and in Canada too. But this was the first time that that a program brought his workbooks, cognitive behavioral therapy workbooks, to the US. So he worked with this individual to adapt the workbooks to a US audience, and that's how our program got started. But his Dr. Williams is his name. He's a psychiatrist. His workbooks have been extensively researched and shown to be evidence-based in the UK.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're
Excellent.
welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much for your presentation, Chad. Appreciate
Got a
that
question,
and
but
the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
It sounds like David has a question or comment.
Hi, David.
hi, Chad. I
Hmm,
was just curious that you identify the program with hope is the first word. Is that new?
It's not new, but a lot of times the hope portion gets kind of dropped from the program's name, just because I think it was too difficult for people to remember, what it stood for, but it stands for Healthy Opportunities for Personal Empowerment.
Hmm.
There's been other organizations that have used the HOPE acronym before also, so I think we tried to kind of steer clear of the full name of the program utilizing HOPE because people were confused.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
okay. All right.
Thanks for being with us, Chad. We appreciate it.
Thank
Oh, you're
you.
more than welcome. And I do have to check out right now because I have another Zoom meeting back to back, but thank you so much, Marilyn, for inviting me to speak today.
Thank you. Feel free to come back and report back and give us information in the future. We'd love to have you.
All right, will do.
Chad
Thank
is
you
a
so much.
totally wonderful human being.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, Chad.
All right, bye, everybody.
I
Bye-bye. All right. At this point, we'll proceed with the agenda item, action and discussion. And the first topic under that heading is the possibility of hybrid meetings. Hybrid meetings, I would assume, is a combination of what we're doing now plus in person. Any comments on that, Marilyn?
I just wanted to give you an update. We had anticipated being together in a hybrid format for the September meeting. And then again for the October meeting, but our equipment install, we are almost done with our new equipment install. But the piece that we have not received is the training. So while we may have pieces of it, we don't know how to use it yet. So our goal is to try to be together for the November meeting. So I will keep you informed, but just know we are moving in the right direction.
Okay. Just as a matter of curiosity, as you mentioned, new equipment installed. Are you able to give us a little list of what actually happened?
Well, I am happy to give it to you. What we did is we replaced all the equipment that we had from our initial opening in 2008. So we have new projectors and new speaker systems. So that is for our in-person. Then we added multi-directional cameras as well as microphone systems so that we can do virtual meetings as well. So you'll be able to see 360 degrees of the room, and you'll be able to hear everyone in the room, both the speaker as well as the guests. The other piece of it is we are set up so that we can help people with hearing devices take advantage of the speaker utilizing their phones. So we'll be introducing an app system that people can download to their phone so that they can access our speaker. So we have a few things. In addition, everything is monitored from a single touch screen at the entry point of the room. So it's not a whole bunch of different pieces of equipment. Everything is a single unit in which we adjust through a touch screen. From the screen coming down, turning on the projector, turning on the computer system. Now, while we're still set up to allow laptops for our speakers to bring in their own personal laptops, each of our presenting rooms have in-room computer systems that are permanent fixtures in that space. So much of our programs will be running through systems that are standard, that we understand for each room, that are tested time and time again to speak correctly to our projector system and our speaker system. So those standalone computers will be an addition to our presentation. So in general, we left the system of 2008, and we now have equipment that is 2023 friendly.
Wow.
That sounds very, very exciting.
Wow.
So one of the questions I do get asked is, well, with all the financial problems going on, how could you afford to do this? Well, easy to say, we have saved, and it has taken us 4 years to raise the funds to pay for this equipment install. So each year we set aside a percentage of funds from our fee structure and donations and all of the fee structure we have in place. And 4 years later, we accomplished the amount, a percentage of the amount we needed. Now, we didn't get to do every bell and whistle because we simply didn't have the money for it. But we did have the amount of $65,000, which we saved, which I will tell you, in the world of IT, that doesn't go as far as you think. But
Mhm.
we're set up and ready to go, and we have 3 amazing rooms that are ready for our classes, but also give us an opportunity to rent out those spaces to agency partners as well as the private business community for their meeting needs.
I'm excited about the hearing device. I think we really need to promote or let people know that. That is amazing. Excellent.
Or Marilyn, is there going to be any, you say training? How about for the users that are not your staff, just for example, our commission members?
Yes.
Will
So
we have some orientation on how to use this stuff, or how to work with this stuff?
so unfortunately, we are going to train all of our staff to operate it. One of the reasons we had trouble over the course of the previous years is too many people using the equipment, too many people changing settings, plugging in, installing, trying to operate the equipment. And so our speakers will be provided a staff person to guide and set up and take care of it for them, so that we aren't having to reconfigure and redo on a regular basis. When people don't use the equipment very often, once or twice a year, maybe, it is difficult to remember all of the different settings and things that you would need. So we, we're going to have classes on how to use to download the app and to access the hearing for your Bluetooth hearing aids. We will do that. But in terms of just coming in and touching, setting up the cameras and all of that, we probably will continue to support that with staff.
Okay, thank you. That sounds like a very operable system. Just as a matter of curiosity, if we go, well, when we go to hybrid meetings, how many prefer to stay home and continue with the Zoom, continue with participation through Zoom rather than showing up at the center for the meeting? How many are in favor of that? Can you just raise
I,
your hand?
I would be one of those that would want to do the Zoom.
And that was Margaret.
Bonnie, it's Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Yes.
Okay. No video from you, Bonnie, so I
I
couldn't see your
know.
hand.
Yeah. And here I want to
Okay.
work with a computer.
Okay.
And I would also like to stay on Zoom. Karen.
Karen, okay. All right.
In the morning.
All right, well, I look forward to participating with this new equipment and being
just gonna-
a hearing deprived person. I'm very interested in seeing how it will work. So I
You want me to
will
grab you a warm
show up
blanket and a pillow?
in person.
Okay.
Okay.
I would just add, I would like to know with our new member, Robert. Robert, do you prefer the Zoom?
I would prefer to come in at least for a few meetings just to, see everyone in person. I don't know if I'd be able to make it in for every meeting. So I might, could be a little bit of a mix there, but I would like to come in for, the first couple when it comes available.
Very good.
I'm like Rob. I kind of would like, depending on my schedule, if I have other things to do right after, it might be easier to do Zoom, but I'll come in when I can.
And this is Bonnie. I will, every once in a while, I probably would like to go in too, because I'd like to meet in person. I like that.
I think it's important, for people that are regular patrons and are volunteering and are here quite often, they get a sense of what's going on here at the center. But if your primary role is being on the advisory commission and you aren't as familiar with the experience and culture at Center 50 Plus, it makes it more challenging for you. I think it's excellent to be able to come on occasion and get a sense of what we're about, because not every senior center is the same. And sometimes it's a little surprising what we feel and do and act and behave like in comparison to other organizations. So I'm a strong believer in I like the energy that cannot be transferred through a computer. I like that feeling. So as much as we can be together, I would strongly appreciate. We can't hear you, Ron.
Oh dear.
Let's see.
Ron's muted.
I know, yeah. Ron, we can't hear you.
Somehow it did get muted. I did not change that.
Well, we know you said some amazing things, but we didn't hear it.
Okay.
I
Right.
bet they were wonderful things, Ron.
Yes.
All right. The commission operates with two committees that meet on the second and the fourth Tuesday of the month. The first is the Communications Committee, and these committees are sort of brainstorming meetings on communication and transportation to continue to give advice to the center's executive director, Marilyn, on a face-to-face basis. It's a great opportunity to address these two critical areas Marilyn, would you like to give us an update on the committee work?
Yeah, so just further fill in with what Ron was saying, we are an age-friendly community, and through the Livable Communities Network, through AARP and the World Health Organization, within the age-friendly, there is a work framework. There are 8 livability domains or best practices that make a community a place where seniors can live and thrive for their lifetime. Because there are 8 domains, we tried to address particular areas each year. With this year, we have chosen communication, age-friendly communication, and age-friendly transportation, or in parentheses, mobility, community mobility. So our communication team has been meeting, and we've narrowed it down to some things that are going to be happening in the next month or two, which is a patron survey and an outreach participant survey, so we can get some demographic information, a little more information on how people, who's coming to the center and why. And then the other question is who's not coming and why. And so we have 2 interns that both from Chemeketa Community College that are assisting us in, as their project, the updating of our survey tools. And then we'll be implementing those surveys and then giving us the results by the end of their term. So that's the next step on our communication plan. We also are working alongside the city of Salem, which they have hired a consulting firm, and they are addressing the bigger picture of communication, transparency, communication as a community-wide response, and in particular, the role of the city of Salem. Because we are a part of the city of Salem, we are being included in that piece. I may have shared with you, but in addition to communication, the idea of just getting the word out, there is the idea of barriers to accessing services within the city. And they're kind of looping that into communication. What are the barriers to people accessing us? Well, we're excited because Center 50 Plus was chosen. We asked to be one of the programs that are being analyzed for our DEI work, in particular, equity, and examining our programs and determining our best ways that we can improve equity. So we're really excited because not only are we doing our work on our own over here at Center 50 Plus, we are being included in a much broader conversation, which is what we have asked for. And so we'll have more to report on that. The other committee is transportation. We held our mobility fair last Tuesday. We had, I think, a dozen vendors and an afternoon of classes on pedestrian safety, bus safety, accessing buses while using mobility devices, safe driving through AARP, tips and tricks on making the transition as we get older in our driving skills. And it was a great event. However, we only had about 50 people attend from the public, and that did not include, of course, the vendors or the staffing that took advantage of the different topics, but it was not as well attended as I had anticipated, or we as a committee anticipated. However, when I went around and talked to the different booths, in particular those that are very involved in transportation, 50 people is considered a great event, which blows me away because everybody complains about mobility and transportation, but often people they're not hugely attended. And that was considered a successful event. Now, at Center 50 Plus, anything less than 200, we're always disappointed. But we recognize that people seek things often when they are in need of it immediately rather than proactively thinking. So if they're driving their personal car right now, they are not planning on what they're going to do when they're not driving their personal car. The ones that came to the event primarily were those that no longer have access to a personal car. And so it was people that are in the thick of their transportation dilemma, as opposed to the people that were planning for successful transition to not using their car. It is something we deal with and continue to talk about all the time, is getting people to think about things in advance of needing it, preparing, being proactive. All of that continues to be an area that we are in constant battle with, but we will not give up. But I will say thank you to the committee that helped the mobility fair take place. And the content, I'd give a 10, and the attendance, I would give a 5. But all in all, a good event. So congratulations.
And I was one that attended and listened to the programs and the talks, and they were very informative. I'm glad we did it. I wish more people would have been there.
Well, I sent out to the commission a list of all the places that we advertised. So we did not waste any money. I mean, we did not spare any money in terms of doing every avenue we have, or taking advantage of every avenue we have to advertise, from radio to newsprint to press releases, you name it, to handing flyers to every person in the building, you name it, we did it. So a few things that we would do differently next year. One, we will make it earlier in the day. 10 to 2, not in the afternoon. And we'll try to connect it with some other things going on here at the center.
Great. Thank you, Marilyn, for that update. We'll move on now to information reports and the center director's report.
Well, very good. Well, I will send out my director's comments right at the conclusion of this meeting, but I would like to turn it over to Kanoy. Kanoy, are you ready to speak? So I have a variety of staff with us today that will give us some brief updates, and then I will wrap up with the details from the Boot Scoot and Brew and an activity calendar update on things happening. And then the final conversation will be budget and addressing some of the things going on in our community right now in terms of Center 50 Plus and the city of Salem. So I will turn it over to Kanoy if she is ready.
I'm ready. Thank you, Marilyn. Well, I'm going to give you just the highlights for the fitness center for this month. We currently have over 500 members, which is exciting. All of our classes are going well. We are meeting our class minimums. We aren't having any issues with not having enough folks attending classes. So that's always exciting as you open the doors and come up after closure. Most exciting right now is our treatment room update. We do have a new certified nail technician that is starting her foot care business with us. So she will be here twice a month, and she'll be starting in October. So I'm currently calling folks. I've been kind of gathering names and phone numbers from people who are interested in being notified when someone's here. So I'm excited that we'll be able to offer that service for the community again. Let's see, we did a September Healthy Living lecture, just to recap on that. We partnered with Northwest Senior Disability Services, and they did a presentation on fall prevention. And then after that, we did a free balance assessment. So we had just about 30 folks that were in attendance. And then another about 25 of them came over and did the balance assessment. It was really great. We were excited to do a follow-up assessment here in November. So folks who did the assessment also received exercises that they could be working on to improve their balance. And then when they come back in November, we get to do the follow-up assessment and see if they see any improvement. So excited about that. In November, do note that we did have to make a change to the date. I have written down that it'll be Thursday, November 16th, but it's actually going to be our November Healthy Living Lecture is going to be diabetes education, and it will be on Thursday, November 30th from 10 to 11. Northwest Senior Disability Services is going to be putting on a presentation just focusing on living with diabetes. So make sure to mark that on your calendar. And just kind of a note, you know, we put these healthy living lectures on with the hope of getting about 20 people. So obviously we were really excited for our September one and hoping that November will be just as good.
Okay.
Any updates on, like anything that you are planning for the spring?
No, not anything in particular.
Seems like a
you're-
long ways away.
I was like, not that I can think of. Is there something you're thinking of, Marilyn?
Well, I'm just thinking of using the bus if you were going to try to do adventures again.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I think what I'm going to try and do, I've been trying the same type of draw the crowd, just going on an adventure that that I kind of come up with and like, oh, we're gonna go hiking, we're gonna do this. I think I want to partner possibly with like Bonnie, maybe a lifelong learning group, so that we have maybe 2 pools of people that might be coming. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of how I can get more people. When we're just depending on trying to fill our bus with just my folks, we never can get quite enough people. But maybe if I can partner with Bonnie and a group that she has already going out or something, maybe that can help. I'm not sure. Trying to think of new ideas, because we have to have at least 12 people for us to be able to go on a trip, and I'm getting like 2 and 3 people, and it's not really enough. Either that, or we just have to take our smaller van, which is an option as well. We could totally do that. But yeah.
And then lastly, Kanoy, could you please share with the group the leadership program that you are graduating from and what you've been doing over the last year?
Yeah, so I'm really excited. This marks the 10th month that I've been a part of the Groundwork Leadership Program. What a wonderful experience. Basically, we gather monthly, myself and 26 other community leaders, and we have the opportunity to have different speakers flown in, giving us an idea, great topics, budget, motivation, keeping your staff, building a staff. We've had a lot of great speakers out there coming in and kind of helping us get organized, how we can contribute not only to our business, but to the community of Salem. And yeah, I feel really blessed to be a part of it. We graduate in December. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. And I think anyone who has the opportunity to be a part of this program should definitely take it. It's great information.
Thank you, Kanoy. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, Heidi, you're on.
Hi, everyone. Well, September was the end of our
Could you
summer
introduce
season.
yourself, Heidi?
What was that?
We have some new people on today. Can you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Heidi Miller. I am the Senior Community Programs Coordinator, or more simply, the Outreach Coordinator of Center 50 Plus. And the work that I do can be kind of divided into 2 buckets. One bucket is interventions, positive interventions addressing senior isolation and loneliness. So we have our Friendly Caller program, our Friendship Brigade, our Canine Corps. All of those programs are about utilizing friendship to connect a isolated senior with a caring volunteer and hopefully create long-lasting and engaging friendships and relationships. The other bucket is about helping older adults stay in their home as long as possible. That's with our Villages Network, which is about connecting seniors who live locally with one another to strengthen social supports and to discover age-friendly resources in their immediate neighborhood. Right now, the emphasis in October is about prevention and preparedness as we're looking into the winter months ahead. And an outreach component of the villages has to do with our winter ready service days. So in October, we will have an all city winter ready event on the 13th, and we'll be doing that again on the 10th. And my hope is that we'll get school groups as well as community partners who want to take on larger projects. Most of our volunteers, they partner in 2 to 3 groups of 2 to 3 for 1 to 2 hours worth of work. And we don't do work that requires licensed and bonded contractors. So this time of year, you know, it's pretty easy to imagine a school group like our basketball players at Willamette getting out and clearing a yard for someone who can't do that for themselves. So we're looking forward to that. Anyway, my report was really looking back at our activity for our summer season, which starts in May and ends at the end of September. So it's been a wild ride, including zucchini races and all sorts of things. But we had a lot of fun. Our Wellness on Wheels van went out to over 20 different locations, including parks and nonprofit agencies and partners and destinations such as Viva Salem, which just concluded in September. So that was fantastic. We also had 4 generations over dinner, or over a meal really, because we included our breakfast in September. And that was really fantastic. We had regularly 2 tables of 8 for once a month through June, July, and August. And then in September, we had about 60 folks come out for the breakfast. And that last one was fun because we were able to bring those domains of livability into our time together, and we created 4 different engagement, you know, kind of sensory, think children's museum kind of displays where people could come and kind of explore what that domain looks like a parklet or a tabletop obstacle course talking about transportation. So those were all fun and important. And then finally, we've started recruiting volunteers to help us with our pilot project in a peer-to-peer volunteer driver program. And we're hoping to get our first training pool of volunteers in for training by the end of the month or early November. So that's moving forward. And then finally, you know, we've been bringing the WOW van out, and we've been talking about our Villages Network to community partners. And it's been interesting to see how in the last, I don't know, 6 weeks or so, it really seems to be gelling where mobile home parks and neighborhood leaders are realizing that they see a village in their own community already. And so now they want to access the resources of Center 50 Plus and our WOW van and our Villages Network to really gel around a village mindset of how to age successfully in place and support each other along the way. And that's been an important kind of growth point, I think, for me in the last 6 weeks or so. Also, our community members who are reaching out, really wanting to improve their housing circumstance or connecting. Maybe they've relocated to the Salem area, and we've been able to utilize our volunteer or our interns to assist us. And one of the goals that I have with in that program is to create a better reporting tool so we can see measurable outcomes and help people in a friendly but accountable way to achieve their goals. So.
Great. Thank you, Heidi. Any questions of Heidi? I didn't know if I asked or of Kanoy. I don't know if Kanoy is still on here. She may have popped off. Any questions for Heidi?
Just
Thank
a
you,
lot of
Heidi.
thank yous for Heidi for operating the extended reach of Center 50 Plus, in which we bring services to our patrons instead of having them come to us. It's a different dimension, and it's great for our organization to have that operational. Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Heidi.
All right, and I think last is Wendy for
Oh.
today.
Yeah. Hi.
Oh, hi, Wendy.
Hi. So I'm Wendy and I run the respite program here at Center 50 Plus. And I have to tell you, September, I was really excited to reopen the center and with all of our new equipment and most of all, my room. I had new speakers put in and I have this surround sound music that I'm able to play for our participants, and they really enjoy that. I think they can hear it better. So that was a real plus for us. And then I decorate real big for September, and everybody's excited to come back and get together. So the Among Friends program in September did serve 116 participants, and looks like there was an average of 10 participants in a 12 days for that month. So an average of 10 participants per day. So there are currently 22 individuals living with dementia enrolled in the respite program. And then Time with Friends, it served 47 participants. So there were 4 days in September and the average attendance was 12 people. So there are currently 13 individuals enrolled in the Time with Friends program. Now volunteers, I had a total of 217 hours for the month of September. And unfortunately, I lost about 5 participants in the month of September to their caregivers deciding that it was too much for them to care for them at home any longer. So I have interviewed more, and I am getting I think I've replaced 4 of those participants that I lost in September. So now the family caregiver seminars, September, we had Kathy Belcher, and she spoke about the paying for long-term care, and they talked about Medicaid, and I had about 40 people in that class. October, this month, I'm going to be having Avoiding Caregiver Burnout, and that's going to be with it's Melissa Lindley from Willamette Vital Health. And just wanted to share a little mission moment with you. In September, I had a real special couple come and play violin and guitar. And at the last minute, they decided that, well, first of all, it was right after lunch. So they called me and said, we're not going to be able to set up while you guys are having lunch. So I decided to put them out in the lobby. So it was this beautiful music that just filled the whole lobby area. My people were able to get out and kind of enjoy the whole center. And it was just overall really nice atmosphere, good music. And they really enjoyed that. So there's respite for you.
Thank you, Wendy. Any questions for Wendy?
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anyone
Bye,
else?
Wendy.
Yes.
I said just bye, Wendy. I'll see
Oh,
you later. It's Bonnie.
okay. Bye, Bonnie.
Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Wendy.
All right. So let's go on with, there we go. Well, a few things I wanted to talk about also, the recap, well, Bonnie Kadich, our lifelong learning coordinator, was unable to join us today because she has a whole bunch of new classes starting and is out in the busyness of the center, getting line dancing started back up, and then our class on German churches. So she's busy, but I just wanted to say our lifelong learning classes are going quite well. She's offering a variety of courses from history to instruments. On Saturdays, we're doing a build your own ukulele class in the wood shop. And we have the minimum, which was 5 students. And so we're able to proceed with that. So lots of things going on. In particular, our cohort, our learning cohort, if you might recall, is you start as a freshman and you go 4 years, and each year they build on their knowledge, they learn together, and they pair their classwork with field trips. And this year's class, our incoming freshman, is full. And so we are only able to take 25 because of the size of our bus, but also the whole point of the cohort is to encourage relationships. And the larger your group gets, the more challenging it is to really develop and build on those relationships. So we have found that a group between 15 and 25 is just absolutely ideal. And over the course of the year, they become good friends. And they're so excited. They plan the outings that they want to go to. They are always re-examining the 7 dimensions of wellness. That is the foundation of the cohort, is a reminder and a constant rebuilding on the skills around the 7 dimensions of wellness. So Bonnie will be back next month and give us a report and the results of her classes, but definitely pick up the program guide. It is available on our website at cityofsalem.net. Sign up for our e-letter program and make sure that you're getting those monthly updates on new classes. And follow us on Facebook. Facebook is one of our best connectors. It allows us to respond quickly and promote things quickly. We have just a little less than 5,000 followers, and that just continues to grow, but it's a great way to follow us and to know what's happening. Now, as far as kind of other things, we had the Boot Scoot and Brew in September, the first Friday in September. So thank you everyone who came out for that. We end up having 515 tickets redeemed, and we made $6,500 in profit. That is double than what we made last year. So that definitely is showing that we were moving in the right direction. Some of the feedback we received was what a great time they had, how they enjoyed the bands. But there was a moment where I was in the back of the event. We had our band up on the stage and the dance floor was completely full and the sidewalks were filled with people dancing. And there was just that moment where that was the highlight of the night, where there was the peak of our attendance and everyone was in full enjoyment. And we looked around and there were people of all ages. There were folks from our respite program that had come out for a night together. And then we had our neighbors that walked across the street and joined in on the fun. And there was a moment there where we were, this is a good night. And the goal, of course, it is to be a fundraiser. And we are slowly building that to be more and more successful. All of our sponsors from this year, Bonaventure, Mid Willamette Valley United Way, Prestige Senior Living, Windsong Memory Care, all of those re-signed for next year to be sponsors again. And that's always a really good sign. When people, when you find that the event was mutually beneficial for your sponsor, you know that you are moving in the right direction. So thank you everyone who came out, bought a ticket, volunteered, and helped that event be successful. The other successful event was our brain camp. We went in August, boot camp for the brain, went for 3 nights, 4 days. Started with an educational series here with Dr. Robert Winningham. And then the next day we hopped on a bus and we went for 3 nights, 4 days to Ashland area, Southern Oregon, Crater Lake, jet boat rides. We ate amazing food, drank amazing wine, and all along the way learned the benefits of trying new things, drinking red wine, eating salmon, doing Tai Chi by a waterfall, tree washing, you name it. It was all about mind, body, spirit, and how all those work together to improve our cognitive function. It was wonderful. We had a wonderful time. We will do it again next year. Next year, though, we're going to go South Coast down to Brookings and the Redwoods. So if you are interested in participating, we limit it to 24 folks, and we will be heading down that way and seeking new adventure. I'm not sure, what the theme will be. This year was We Are Better When We Play, which ended with a play in Ashland. We saw Rent. But next year will be probably something comparable, but amazing. And although it is not a money maker, we were able to cover our costs and make a little bit of money to support future programs of our brain health. Things coming up to mark your calendar for October 11th and 25th, we have flu shots here. We received $10,000 from the National Council on Aging, National Institute of Senior Centers to promote and offer flu shots here at the center. The only thing that we have to do is make sure we give 100 shots, 100 flu shots. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, come on over here. We've partnered with P3 Care Partners to administer the flu shots this year. So mark your calendar for those 2 dates. Also on October 31st, which is Halloween, we are holding a volunteer fair that will run from 1:30 to 4. And we have nonprofits from throughout the community that will be here promoting their volunteer needs and opportunities. We encourage you to come over, trick or treat every table, and learn more about the nonprofits of our community. Whether you are interested in, supporting our unsheltered, or making sure people have access to food, or you want to work in the park system and keep your park in your neighborhood up, or if you want to volunteer here at Center 50 Plus, there will be 25 to 30 different nonprofits here, all in one room, so you can get a real idea of the great need and find that particular job that is going to be just right for you, taking advantage of your great skills. So November 10th, although that is the recognized day for Veterans Day, because Veterans Day is on a Saturday this year, Center 50 Plus is officially closed on Friday, November 10th. However, we are holding our Veterans Day luncheon in partnership with Dignity Funeral Services and Willamette Valley Hospice or Willamette Valley Vital Health. We will be offering a free Veterans Day luncheon right here at Center 50 Plus. And if you are available to volunteer, we could use you, because actually the center is closed, and so much of the staffing that is here at the center will be off for the holiday, but we are having our lunch that day. So we'd love to have you come at 11. If you're going to help, be here at 10. The lunch starts at 11:30, and we have a small program and, of course, music. November 17th is our Bobby Sock and Burger Bash. We'll be bringing in Billy and the Rockets and serving Bob's Cheeseburgers, and it will be a fun evening. Again, November 17th, tickets go on sale shortly. And then December 2nd is our annual Tea Among the Trees, our tea with ladies tea party, set for Saturday, December 2nd. So lots of things going on. This will be in your director's report, and you can mark your calendar, and I hope you all will participate. Lastly, I'm sure you've been reading in the newspaper and you are familiar with some of the things going on with the city. The city of Salem, like many communities, many cities, are facing budgetary restraints and financial cutbacks. And Center 50 Plus has been asked to make a reduction or a plan to fill the gap of $400,000. And the timing of that is probably soon. So we are making some modifications with our budget, and we're also creating a revenue, a plan to increase revenue in a few areas. A few things that we're exploring much further out. I mean, it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but more conversations can occur, is that we're going to be talking about, doing some analysis of our fee structure here, striking the balance between covering cost and being a barrier to people accessing our services. We're going to have some conversations about fee structure. A fee analysis will be taking place, and now that's definitely something we're recommending. The other is the conversation of what many other senior centers and other districts and other organizations do is they evaluate in-city, out-of-city fee structure. We are going to have that conversation and just see, what does that look like? How would you implement that? Is it going to be, is it not going to get us where we need to go? There's a lot of analysis that needs to go into that. 40% of the folks that come to Center 50 Plus are not from Salem. That is significant. We have been identified as a regional center. We serve Marion, Polk counties. We actually have folks that come as far as coastal counties. People from Wilsonville down to Eugene come to Center 50 Plus, and then both directions on Highway 22, all the way up beyond Mill City and all the way to the coast. So we definitely are a regional center because we offer some services that our rural senior centers are unable to offer. And so we have a draw that brings people to the center. We just kind of have to analyze that and determine, what would be the best option in fairness. Again, I don't have the answer. I just know that this will be a conversation as we move forward, because I think we're at a place where no rock we must turn over every rock. We have to examine each piece of our funding and determine what's the best option for Center 50 Plus. In terms of a plan, we've been working on this since 1998. We have planted many seeds since that time. We started a nonprofit, our 501c3 Friends Group. We started an endowment fund managed by Oregon Community Fund. We implemented a fee structure. We started working with our business community and have a business sponsorship program. So we have planted many, and we've expanded on our contractual agreements, whether it's Northwest Senior Disability Services or National Council on Aging. And then finally, we created lease spaces where we partner with our agency partners and have brought them into the building. So our basket has many eggs in it. And right now, the heavy lifting has been done. However, now we need to really focus on which of those eggs or which of those seeds we're going to really water and we're going to really build on as we make some adjustments like the other departments at the city. I know more information in the future, but you know, I'm sure have been reading the newspaper, and I'm sure you can see that there are some challenges ahead, and Center 50 Plus being a part of general fund will be experiencing some changes, and we have a plan, but we're working on a longer term plan that's going to help us in the future. But the immediate need, the identified discussion, we will be moving forward with some changes in the new year, once council has made some final decisions and they have come up with some better plans. I will say we are involved in the conversation, which is always great. We are not being kept out of the conversation. We're invited to budget focus groups. We're having conversations, and as a Department of Community Services, where we are sitting, we're all working together to come up with the best plan that's going to help us continue to provide services to the community. That is my report for today. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Marilyn, that 400,000, what kind of percentage would that be? What are we looking at?
You know, I don't have it wasn't based on a percentage. It was, so
okay.
I will have to figure that out for you. We have a $1.6 million budget, so we can all do the math on that.
Yeah, okay.
It is significant, but that again is just a starting point. It's a conversation piece. Nothing has been finalized. There is some things in play that they're working through, and we'll know more. But my kind of target right now has been 400,000 total, which means either an increase of revenue to fill the gap or a reduction to fill the gap. And so those are the figures I'm working with.
Okay.
Marilyn, in the past, this commission has discussed the paying citizen topic and fees for participation for those that are not Salem citizens. Is that a topic that we as a commission are going to examine again?
I think that we'll be weighing in on that. We can provide advice and guidance, but we are an advisory group. And so bottom line, we'll make the final decision in terms of the budget office will make the final decision, but I think that they will listen to us on what's appropriate. I will say one of the other things that has come up from the commission when it comes to fees is the debate over membership. And I definitely think that if the thought arises about having a paid membership to come to the center, the advisory commission will be asked to weigh in on that.
Does the proposed payroll tax have a chance of passing, and would that influence the budget for the Center 50 Plus?
So in terms of the payroll tax, I don't really have any real thoughts about that. I don't know if that is not going to be the deciding factor 100%. The city of Salem has had a long time discussion going on about sustaining general fund programs. And, like I said, this has been going on for a lot of years, Measure 5 and 47 and 50. For all that period of time, we have faced the shortfall when it comes to our type of services. In terms of the payroll tax, I'd encourage you to look at the website online and see what they are kind of talking about. As far as for me, I am kind of a silent member, a silent person when it comes to the outcome of that.
Okay. Anything else anybody want to bring up before we adjourn? Okay.
Marilyn, at the Friends Board meeting, you also added something which was, I thought, very wise. You encouraged the Friends Board that if they heard any rumors or read anything in the newspaper that they were unsure about in regards to this shortfall or regards to, messing around with the budget, that they should call you rather than just believe the rumors or not be clear. So I thank you for that.
Yeah, I think that while I can't speak to any tax reforms or anything like that, when it comes to our budget and the impact of our annual budget and what shortfalls we're experiencing, please call me. I'm happy to answer any questions. We have a pretty straightforward budget. We do run anywhere from 650 to 1,000 people a day. And we run it pretty lean using 450 volunteers. So it's really pretty cut and dry. There isn't a ton to really reduce without making significant program changes. I already make people bring their pencils from home, so it is not going to make that much difference. But don't let rumors upset you. Give us a call, see what we're doing here. And then in terms of more information about some of the things going on in our community, I know there are several websites that have been set up for you to refer to. And I hope that everyone will, be inquisitive and ask questions.
And Marilyn, what I appreciate is when you said you've been here before. That, I mean, we're in good hands, so I think we're fine.
Well, what Bonnie is referring to is in 1998, they hired me. Actually, they hired me at the time where they were going to close Salem Senior Center. And we've been here now 25 years. So I feel that we have done the heavy lifting. There are things in place. We have an amazing nonprofit board of directors, very strong. We're seeing some great movement and success in that area. But I also know we have not explored every option that we have at our disposal, and we will do that. We will continue to do what we've been asked to do, which is leverage our workforce with the utilization of great volunteers, to explore every contractual agreement we possibly can, to make sure we market and sell what we're good at and build on it, and be wise, be efficient. This is a chance for us to look at our building and make sure that the hours we're open make sense. The days we're open make sense, that we are really building and utilizing this space to be as efficient and well utilized as possible. And we will continue to do that. So thank you, Bonnie. And this is not great time. But I think I have it in me to do it one more time.
Okay. Thank you, Marilyn. Karen, do you have any comments on fundraising from friends?
Marilyn looked backwards at the fundraising events up to date and then looked forward. I just want to reiterate the flu shot clinic on October 11th and 25th, how important it is for Center 50 Plus to give 100 shots. So if you have a choice between here in Fred Meyer or here in someplace else, come to the center. The October 31st volunteer fair will be important. There will be a table of Friends Board people that talks to the crowd, the large crowd, I hope, about the work that the Friends Board does, and mainly events in order to fundraise for programs. That's Friends' main item. And I've had a lot of positive feedback about volunteers for the Veterans Day lunch. Somebody said, "Oh, I'm tired of volunteering, but I'll do it for the veterans." So I'm expecting that lunch to be very successful on Friday, November 10th. And other than that, you've heard everything from Marilyn, so I have nothing new. Thank you, Ron.
Well, Karen, and not to put you on the spot, but I think one of the things that you reported was the success, the first quarter Connection Cafe consignment.
Holy moly. Yes, yes. Well, anyway, we'll say from 2021, 2022, and this is 2023, there's been a general uptick. And last year, I think year to date was about 4,000 for consignments at Connection Cafe. And we're ending our first quarter, and we're ending our first quarter with 2,000, almost 2,000 exactly. And so, so it's moving exactly the way we want it to, upward. Even though the space is pretty limited, even though during closure we got more space, which is wonderful. But people know that they can come into the Connection Cafe and buy important items at a very good price. So thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Karen.
Okay. Thanks, Karen, for your comments. Anything else? Okay. Next meeting of the commission will be on November 7th. That's as far out as you can stretch the first Tuesday of a month, the 7th. Okay. Okay, can I have a motion for adjournment, please? Oh, come
I
on.
move that the meeting be adjourned.
Who is that?
Karen.
Ah, okay, and a second?
I second it.
Second from David? Okay. Okay, we're adjourned. See you on November 7th. And possibly that will be a hybrid meeting. Okay,
All right. Thank you, Ron.
sure enough. See you then.
Thank you,
Great.
Ron.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Robert, for joining us.
Hello, this is Bill.
What level? Ah, Marilyn, I
Yes.
see where I can increase my volume. I had a little pop-up that said, there's audio settings, and I just increased that. Okay,
Oh, good.
right.
All right. Thank you. Good job.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna try and figure out my no, I'll figure it out next time. My video, I don't know
I
what.
see you now, Bonnie.
Oh,
Hi,
okay.
Bonnie. I see your happy face right there.
excellent. I figured it out. Amazing. Oh, all righty.
Hey, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.